What's up, and welcome back to the Dual Sense podcast. This is episode 105. I am one of your co hosts, Jason, and I am joined as always by your other co host who calls himself this evening Skulland Boners. I had a feeling that's what I was going to say. He's also known as
Mm.
Travis, of course. That's his Christian name. Travis, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm really pleased with my name this week.
Yeah, that was a softball for you, huh?
It really was. I was just
Yeah.
thinking the other day about how we used to call those restaurants all those stupid ass names we'd come up with,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know, it just kind of dovetailed into that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there's we've had some good ones.
I don't remember.
I was gonna say, there's Waxby's, there's
Whack
Taco Hell,
Arnold's.
Whack Arnold's, there's Taco
Uh,
Hell,
uh-huh.
Burger Queen.
Which is stupid, but makes me laugh.
Just a little twist of the originals. That's good. Yeah, well,
Mhm.
I'm doing fine.
Mhm.
It's a little bit different Friday night for me. I did not water the garden tonight, so
Mhm.
that's out. I did eat, of course, and no coffee tonight, just water, just H2O,
Mhm.
just high quality H2O. And
Mhm.
we finally got rain after like a 3-week drought here where we
Mhm.
live, so that was
Did
nice
you
today. So
feel it in your joints?
yeah, I could feel. Well, it smelled like rain, right
Yeah, the
before it
woolly
was about
worms
to.
were black.
Yeah, I could smell the rain right before it happened. And have we talked about that on the show about how you can smell rain when it's coming, and you don't believe that that's real?
Typically we don't talk about the weather on this podcast.
what what are you, the fucking weatherman now?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day, Sergeant Major. What are you, a fucking weatherman?
Great.
Anyway.
Great
hmm
scene. Oh, we didn't tell anybody about my tragedy this week.
Oh, what happened? Oh, yeah, yeah. Please tell us. Yeah, it's been a fucking week for us. We're gonna talk about it partially, about what's gone on when we talk about what we've been playing. But
Mhm.
please tell what happened to your thing.
Yeah, I took the dog outside and I looked over into the man cave and the wall was just blank, which is new.
Uh-huh.
So I went in there and my TV fell off the wall and landed on my racing rig. Like I guess it bounced off and landed on my pedals. So of
Mhm.
course the screen was shattered, which was really cool. So I didn't even think about it at the time. I just kind of picked it up and I took the brace off and I went outside and just put it in the trash can.
It's like the fucking meme from The Office or whatever, where they throw the computer away in the dumpster.
So I was just like, all right, well, I was looking at the mount. So I was like, what happened? Because I've had this mount forever. I've used it a bunch of times. It's been on like 5 different walls. It never had a problem. So I was
Mhm.
like, what is the deal? Like, it's been on 5 walls. If I installed it wrong, it would have fell by now. Like, what is the deal? So there is an articulating part of the mount where you can move the TV up and down. You can angle it and left and right.
Mhm.
It's loose.
Mm.
Why would it be loose? So what I was thinking happened is somehow it got loose enough to where it basically the TV basically leaned forward all the way, and I guess it happened so fast it just basically knocked itself off the wall somehow. It just like removed itself from the attachment somehow, and it because like the whole system on the back of it is like on the left and right side, it's just spinning loose. So I guess somehow it broke. I don't know. I didn't know
Yeah.
that could happen. So that was pretty cool.
Maybe you have a poltergeist at your house or something.
Right. I was like, well, there wasn't an earthquake, so I don't know
Mm.
what could have happened.
So,
So
what
anyway.
happened to the racing rig? Did it fall on the racing rig or no?
Yeah, it just bounced off the pedals, which it didn't do anything to the pedals.
Man.
They're just upright, so that's fine. But I decided I was just gonna get another TV stand and put it on the TV stand because it won't fall off.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. Did you get that yet?
Not yet. No, I wanted. I haven't ordered one yet. I was gonna order one from IKEA, but they wanted to charge me $400 for shipping. Thanks, Joe Biden. So I just didn't even bother. So, I don't know. I might order one from Amazon tonight.
Yeah, just get you an Amazon one, maybe a Walmart one. You'll be fine. But you've got the TV replacement already, right?
Oh yeah, it's upstairs. It's a nice
Good.
Samsung. Got it on sale. 3 or 4 HDMIs, I can't remember. It's got, like, full HDR and all that fun stuff, so we're good to
Good.
go.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, Travis, anyway, we better move on here. We have a pretty packed show here, but we are a weekly podcast where you and I get together each and every week and we discuss all of the news, rumors, new game releases, and announcements, and much more in the world of PlayStation. We do it all in under 90 minutes somehow, and we post new episodes on Monday on your usual podcast services as well as the YouTube, where we also share gameplay videos and clips and highlights. And we have been enjoying some steady growth there. So thank you very much if you're watching there, listening there, checking our things out. We very much appreciate it. But we're also on social media, of course, chiefly on Twitter, which we are known by at the DualSense Pod. But you can also find us on Instagram, where we post virtual photography from in-game photo modes. We're also on Facebook, and we have a blog as well, which is called the DualSense Podcast.wordpress.com, and you can see our bios there, which are pretty clever, and our pictures and all that good stuff. And we post the episodes there as well every week. So without further ado, Travis, as I mentioned, we have a pretty packed news week here. So let's dive right in here, starting with number one. After weeks of speculation, rumors, peaks, and valleys, we finally know when Ragnarok is coming. On Wednesday, November the 9th, 2022, the year of our Lord. Developer Sony Santa Monica shared the oddly delayed PlayStation blog post this week, and they also shared a new CG trailer, but no gameplay was shown. In addition, the blog post included a number of in-game screenshots and details on the game's various editions. The launch edition will include an armor item for Kratos and a tunic cosmetic for Atreus for players who pre-order the game. The digital deluxe edition includes an additional armor set for Kratos, an additional tunic cosmetic for Atreus, weapon grips, the digital soundtrack, an avatar set, and more. The collector's editions, which Tom Henderson leaked last week, includes everything I just mentioned, plus a steelbook case, 2 wooden carvings of the Holger brothers from the game, a dwarven dice set, and a 16-inch replica of Thor's hammer. The Jotnar edition includes everything from the collector's edition, plus a 7-inch vinyl record with music from the game's composer, Bear McCreary, a Norse ring, and a cloth map of the game world. Pre-orders for God of War Ragnarok will go live on July 15th at 10 a.m. in your local time zone, and players who purchase the PS4 version of the game can upgrade to the PS5 version later for $10 US.
Mm.
And finally, in terms of when we might see some actual gameplay, Reset Era insider Ashong
Mhm.
claims that I play Mahjong, claims that there is something God of War related happening in August, perhaps a dedicated state of play. All right, so as we talked about last week, we knew exactly when the game was coming thanks to insiders. We knew it was coming in November. Now we have an exact date. What do you think about the date and the various editions, etc.?
Yeah, the date pretty much lines up with what we anticipated. No crazy surprises there. I would have been super
Mm-hmm.
surprised if it was any time before November.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the CG trailer was, I think a lot of people were complaining because they wanted to see gameplay, which I get, but also we haven't really seen anything in forever. So I was happy with the CG trailer, all things considered. It could be a lot worse. They threw in some screenshots, which if you're a fan of the game, you obviously found those. So like I was cool with that. No issues for me there. What I was thinking about the other day was if you buy the digital edition, like could you buy a digital collector's edition and then they just send you all the fun stuff?
Right. They need to do stuff like that since we're heading toward a digital age.
Right. Like to me, it just makes sense. Like what we talked about a couple of months ago, like 60 or 70% of all the games were downloaded. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense to me that just mail me the shit. Like you already have my address on file, don't you? From well, at least they have to have my credit card to work if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation has my address from something, but that would be dope just to be able to send that in. I think that'd be really cool.
The digital collector's edition. Like you get the code for the game, but then they mail you like
Right.
the physical shit. Yeah.
Yeah, or even if it's like the code for the game, you go to the website and you put in the code and you put in your address and it ships it to you. Like that would be cool too.
Mm.
Like I just don't
Yeah. Yeah.
like we're trending towards an era of never having hard games anymore,
Mm-hmm.
unless they're like in style like vinyl is, which even then it's still a
Yeah.
niche market, so it just seems weird. It just seems like an oversight to me. But anyway, Thor's hammer is pretty big. It's a pretty big hammer. I think the average size of hammer is like 5 inches.
Yeah.
We also found out about a guy named
Uh,
Bear and a guy named Asslong, so it was a pretty big
mm.
just a pretty big week there with it, but yeah, the people at that I work with that play God of War, they were just rock hard yesterday.
Oh, really?
They were telling me how they were gonna pre-order it at 10:01 on the 15th, and I was like, "Guys, if you buy it digitally, you can get it the night before, and it's still gonna be there," but regardless, you know, one of the guys I work with was like, "I'm gonna buy it early, and then by the time you guys get it, I'll have it for 3 days." I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "So I'll be on, like" I was like, "Chapter 2?" Like, I don't know, man, like, I get what he's saying, but it's just, like it's just funny to me. It just when we were younger, it just seemed like pre-ordering and having the game as soon as you could was so, like, important, but now that I can get it all digitally, it's just lost all that luster for me.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I get that. This was obviously expected. This was rumored for weeks now. And, that we are going to get something at the end of June. And then they obviously delayed it oddly for whatever reason last week. And the fact that there's no gameplay in this announcement in this blog post makes me question why it was delayed at all in the
Mhm.
first place. I don't, because that was my theory is that, well, maybe they don't have the gameplay trailer like
Right.
totally done or something like
Or
that,
maybe
or
they didn't,
green
and
lit from everybody.
maybe you were right, and they were just like, "Forget it."
Maybe. Yeah, and they were like, "Hey, we were going to use this cinematic trailer for like a stinger, like in the 2 weeks leading up, that was going to play in the middle of NBA games during commercials or something. So let's just use that instead." Maybe they did something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I'm very excited about it. Super stoked. Wednesday is a very weird date. I cannot remember if and when the last time a major AAA game released on a Wednesday. It's normally Tuesday or Friday, sometimes a Thursday
Mhm.
potentially. I mean, I'm not talking about like early releases, like, 2 days or 3 days early access. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like proper launch dates being set for a Wednesday. I don't know when the last time that's happened. My theory on that on Twitter this week was that in the States, November the 11th, the Friday is Veterans Day here in the States. And while I think that Sony Santa Monica wanted to go for the 11th, because I don't think they avoided that date just because Starfield used to be, was planned to release that date and then they delayed it. Like Sony doesn't care about that. But I think that they may have wanted to avoid that holiday because a lot of people now are off work for that holiday and it probably would just seem a little bit odd to like launch and promote a game called God of War on a veterans holiday potentially. So I feel
Right.
like they just backed it up a couple days. Now,
Mhm.
why they didn't choose Tuesday, I have no idea, but Wednesday it is. That's a little oddity
Mhm.
to me, in my opinion.
I mean, you have Friday off anyway, you could play it. So, I mean,
That's oh man, that's a great point. I
maybe
forgot about that.
maybe it kinda plays in that way.
True. That is true. So I'm not going to get any of the collector's editions, although I appreciate how badass the Thor's hammer is. That's a big hammer.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So the very cool collector's editions, I'll hand them that. The fact that we haven't seen any gameplay, I I'm personally not concerned about it. I would understand if people are upset by not having seen any more gameplay of it. But I maintain that they're going to show us gameplay, I think, at a showcase in September. I think, or maybe, I mean, maybe they will do a state of play for the game by itself. That's kind of been the past or the history or the recent history, like with Horizon, et cetera. But I think it would be cool if they just showed it at the showcase that they're obviously going to have to do later this year. And, in September, a couple months before it comes out, I'm like, hey, here's an awesome, like 3 minute gameplay video or 4 minute gameplay video. And
Yep.
just to kind of amp everybody up. But anyway, yeah, November the 9th, it's coming finally. I don't see that it gets delayed. I think that's rock solid. I think that's part of why we had to wait this long to find out. And this is the latest PlayStation has released a first party game in some time. So definitely different for them. And then they do it on a Wednesday to boot. But anyway, everybody can be excited that Ragnarok is finally coming. And so will we. Number two, Square Enix announced this week that they have pushed back the perpetually delayed Forspoken yet again, this time to January 24th of 2023. In a statement released on social media, the publisher and developer Luminous Productions stated, quote, "As a result of ongoing discussions with key partners, we have made the strategic decision to move the launch date of Forspoken to January 24th, 2023. All game elements are now complete and development is in its final polishing phase, end quote. The statement concludes by saying that we can expect additional information later this summer, presumably at a September PlayStation Showcase event. The 2-year timed PlayStation 5 exclusive title was originally scheduled to release on May 24th of this year, before being delayed to October the 11th, and now to the current date of January 24th of next year. So, what do you think about another
Mm,
delay for Forspoken, Travis?
I guess that that October release date was already forespoken for.
Yes, indeed.
My first question is how everything is done and in the polishing phase, but we still can't get it ready in 90 days. I don't understand that.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't understand how games are made in the nuts and bolts way, which I would be willing to bet none of us do. But that's an
Sure.
interesting idea. And then to push it all the way to January to maybe they wanted to put it in Q1, and that's the bottom line with Square Enix. It's just like, hey, let's just put it in Q1 because you think you would want it if it's in the polishing phase. You think they could at least have it out by the holidays. So
Sure.
that's an interesting thing that isn't happening.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, but if it's like a 2-year timed exclusive, like, which is interesting to me too. Like, what are the odds in 2 years that this game is going to carry the weight that it has going to have at launch across other platforms? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
exclusivity, I like that it exists because I think it creates an interesting market dynamic for studios and IPs and platforms themselves. I like the idea of it in that way. But if I'm a game or I'm a company like Square Enix where I can make a game that goes multi-platform, like it just seems silly to me to do that. Like, what is the benefit of that? Like,
Hmm.
how much money did PlayStation pay for it? Maybe is the question. Maybe it's just hard to walk away from. But again, I just don't understand why they
Sure.
can't have this ready by the holidays.
I think that's a fair point, and I have a few thoughts on it. First of all, I think that the game is not in a good place. I don't think it's going to do well. It's the only reason that I can imagine that they keep delaying this thing, because in tandem with that, October is starting to get busy from a release standpoint. There are several games coming out in October that it's going to directly compete with, and this game's going to need all the landing room that it can get.
Hmm.
So the end of January probably looks like a better fit right now until we find out what fucking banger is going to drop the first week of February, you know, inevitably. So I think that possibly might be one reason why they moved it, is to give it some more room. The other thought that I had is that, and this is a little bit more tinfoil hatty, if you will, of course, but the quote that they gave was that we have made the strategic decision after ongoing discussions with key partners. So who are the key partners? Sony,
PlayStation.
right? Exactly. It's the platform that they're exclusive to for 2 years. With that said, I don't think the game's close enough to God of War Ragnarok to where you couldn't release Forspoken on October 11th and God of War Ragnarok essentially a month later. I think that's perfectly fine.
Hmm.
So that makes me wonder if there's something else coming in October potentially from PlayStation, meaning, in my opinion, a live service title, because we know that they have said that they're going to have 2 that come out by the end of March, and it wouldn't make sense to release 2 in the spring. So I think maybe there's a possibility that there's a live service game coming in October, and that they wanted to get out of the way of, have Forspoken get out of the way of it, I should say. And I think maybe Sony asked them like, "Hey, we want to put this out in October. Do you have any problem with like delaying a couple months? There's no excitement for this game anyway. You guys can take some extra time, or you could fuck off and take a vacation, or whatever." And Square Enix probably didn't argue with that. I'm like, okay, cool. January is cool. Yeah, sounds great. And
Yeah.
they probably were like, hey, this is great for you for a number of reasons. You can take more time. You're not in this busy October month, et cetera, et cetera. So that is just a theory of mine, is that potentially there is a live service game that's going to be announced at the showcase in September that's going to come out in October, that PlayStation did not want to have Forspoken and this, like, whatever this game might be, right next to each other. And they saw an opportunity to kind of get Forspoken out of the way.
Hmm.
I don't know. Probably bullshit, but potentially not. And
Hmm.
if I'm going to just go ahead and go all in and put my chips on the table, my cards on the table, I'm going to say that the game is Helldivers 2, because it was in the NVIDIA leak. We know it was there. It's coming to PC. It came to PlayStation. The original one did back in the day exclusively on console. So I think maybe Helldivers 2 maybe could come out in October or something like that. But
Mhm.
we'll see. I'm just talking out of my ass now, but that's just my theories.
Two quick points about your one of your theories I think is interesting. So, like you said, it doesn't make sense to put two live services in the spring. But let's say if PlayStation does release two live services in the spring, that means they think one of them is going to shit the bed. So, like that's not a good sign
That's a good point too. Yeah.
for one of the two. It's a bad sign. I was
Yeah.
just thinking about that, and also the on the other hand, if you're afraid to release your game because there's other games coming out, that I don't think that says a lot about the quality or the faith you have either. Obviously, you want to be
Hmm.
strategic. You don't want to get buried, but you can't be scared of every game either. So I don't know. I
Also a
think
great point.
I think there's just bad. It's just bad omens all around.
Yeah. 100%. That's a great point as well. Great point. Number three, Ubisoft held the worldwide gameplay reveal for their open world pirate game Skull and Bones this week, Travis's namesake this episode. The stream opened with a cinematic trailer, after which they officially announced that the game will release on November the 8th. A cringy developer interview followed, but we eventually got around to the gameplay reveal, believe it or not. The game can be played completely solo, but is designed around cooperative play with friends, and there is also an opt in PvP element as well. Players will have to manage their ship and crew to avoid a mutiny, and the primary objective is to complete quests, acquire loot, build new ships, and raise your infamy level to continue the cycle of taking on tougher jobs and earning bigger upgrades. The game features side quests and dynamic world events as well, in typical Ubisoft fashion, the game will get robust post launch support, and a lot of it will be free for players. And finally, in addition to the Skull and Bones showcase this week, Ubisoft also announced a multi game showcase for September the 10th, which will, quote, reveal updates and news on multiple games and projects from Ubisoft teams around the world.
Hmm.
End quote. So, did you get to see any of your Skull and Boners gameplay? And if so, what did you think?
Yeah, I think that this September the 10th event, they'll announce this is a free to play live service.
I would believe you if that and already put out pre orders for it.
I know. Yeah, I already pre-ordered it. Can you believe that?
Oh shit. Okay.
So it was interesting. I was excited to see it, and the cinematic trailer. I mean, I thought graphically the cinematic trailer looked well. Obviously, the cinematic. We've talked about how much I hate cinematics, but it did look really good. And what you were seeing, you could kind of see how the gameplay might work. And then when they show the clip of him, of the character, basically building his castaway thing, this castaway ship after he was on the island.
Uh huh.
At that point, I saw that and I was like, "Yeah, this game's gonna suck." Like, for some reason, when I saw that, I immediately was like, "Yeah, fuck that, it's gonna be terrible. It's
Yeah.
just not gonna be good." The gameplay trailer, look, I had low expectations. It's not like I didn't expect it to be like when Wolverine, when we see gameplay trailer for that or gameplay whatever for that, I'm expecting like a 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
So my expectations were super low for this, and I was probably a 5 out of 10 when I watched it. Like I wasn't here or there. I could see parts of it will probably be really cool, parts of it will look really nice, and then parts of it will be really weird. And the whole time I was watching the gameplay reveal, I kept thinking like, what badass glitches is this gonna have? It's gonna have some wild shit that's not gonna work. It's
Yeah.
gonna have like floating cannons or something, or like, I don't know. But look, if it was free, I would 100% try it. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
pay for it. I, I'm excited to see what it gets reviewed like. I want to see what people actually think of it. Part of me thinks I think it might end up being a better game than it might be more fun than Forspoken.
Oh
Like
wow. Yeah. That's
I
actually
could I
yeah.
could see that happening.
That's a compelling argument. I could get behind that. I could get behind that.
So, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't really blown away, like I said, but
Yeah.
it's I will keep watching. I will keep observing because if
Sure.
it is done well, it'll be a lot of fun.
Sure. It. I don't even know where to start. I was very like blank face watching it. Like it looked like some of the most like generic
Generic.
stuff I've ever seen in my life. Like it didn't excite me. It didn't bore me completely. I was just very in the middle. I don't know. It just didn't it didn't do much for me in the end. And we kind of expected that after all the reporting that we've gotten on the game that, this is going on behind the scenes, et cetera, et cetera. So I didn't have high hopes for it. Still don't, but it is a live service game, and there is potential for any live service game nowadays. And Ubisoft is one of these publishers. I mean, look at Rainbow Six Siege. They've been supporting it for 7 years. And so if they think that if they see a light at the end of the tunnel when it launches, if they think that they can, get behind this thing, they might do it. I don't know. You never know. It's hard to say. So there's that possibility that maybe in 3 or 4 years from now, we look back on it and it's a really good game or something like that. And maybe it's great at launch. I don't know, but one of my issues with it is that, and we knew this, and this isn't a surprise, but literally it's just the ship's combat. Like there's nothing you get out and get quests and talk to people and whatever, but like my understanding is that there's really nothing you're doing outside of the boat.
Very basic, yeah.
And that's kind of what I talked about last week on the show is that I think this is going to be like the basic, like bare bones thing, whatever. And it just looks basic to me is what I mean, is how I can put it best, I guess. And you got to do a little bit more than that, I think. And I, I don't know. I'm not excited about it right now, and I don't plan on getting it. And the other thing is that Ubisoft games go on sale quick, and they go on
Mhm.
deep sales even faster. So if you're on the fence about it, just wait like 2 months, and you'll be able to get it for $30. And you won't have to have as much heartbreak about it if you don't enjoy it. But the other last thing I want to say about this is that they got this out here before their September 10th event, okay, which is 2 months before the game launches. So they could have, you know, saved most of this for the September thing to really get people
Mhm.
excited. But I think that they wanted to go ahead and put this out here and get it the fuck away from whatever they're going to talk about on September the 10th. Like, because I think September the 10th is when we're going to get like Avatar, like the Division Heartland, um, the Crew 3, like the Assassin's Creed Rift, like shit like that. Like we're gonna get some bangers, and I think they want this thing to be nowhere fucking near that stuff. Is my opinion on that. So they thought that was funny that they just kind of pushed that out, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we're gonna have some more shit, or some real shit in a few months." Number 4, French publisher Nacon held their Nacon Connect stream this week, and it featured 17 games, with 5 being newly announced titles. Here's what we saw, and I'll just run through everything, and then at the end, if we want to talk about anything, we certainly can. The event started with a trailer for first person shooter Robocop from developer Teon, the studio behind the Terminator Resistance game. It launches on PlayStation 5 in June of 2023, and we'll see actor Peter Weller reprise his role as Robocop. Pretty cool. Another look at action RPG Still Rising from developer Spiders was after that in the form of a new gameplay deep dive video. Alpha gameplay footage of a World War I set first person survival horror game called Ad Infinitum, which we've heard about before. I think they announced it. It'll be launching on April 20th of next year. Then we saw a trailer for a squad based tactical RPG called Crown Wars The Black Prince, which is coming to PS5 next year and is a mashup of medieval and World War I time periods. Turn based tactical sports game Blood Bowl 3 was up next with a trailer that showed a mix of cinematics and gameplay. That was followed by a new gameplay trailer for The Chef's Life, a chef/restaurant simulation game. After an advertisement for some controllers and headsets, we saw a gameplay trailer for The Lord of the Rings Gollum, which is launching on PlayStation on September the 1st. Then our first teaser trailer for 4-player cooperative action game Gangs of Sherwood was shown, and it is releasing sometime in 2023. Then we saw a gameplay trailer for the awesome looking cooperative twin stick zombie survival action game Paradise Project, which is coming to PlayStation 5 next fall. A gameplay trailer for third person melee action game Clash Artifacts of Chaos was shown after that, and it's launching February the 9th, 2023. So that game has been delayed. A developer commentary trailer for third person action adventure game Hell Is Us was after that, and it's coming to PlayStation 5 at some point in the future. Then we saw a new trailer for skating game Skate Sessions, and we learned that it will release on PS4 and PS5 on September 22nd. A gameplay trailer for dark fantasy isometric action roguelike game Raven's Watch was shown from the team behind Curse of the Dead Gods. It will support up up to 4 players in online co-op and is coming to PlayStation 5 at some point next year. Next was management game War Hospital, which showed off a gameplay trailer, and we learned that it is coming to PlayStation sometime next year as well. Rally racing game WRC Generations was after that, and we got a cinematic trailer. Developer KT Racing also revealed that this iteration will be the last WRC game that they make, as KT Racing is also the developer of Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, which they shared a new look at as well. Test Drive Unlimited will include both PvP and single player modes, it appears, with the single player portion revolving around the player choosing sides in a street racing rivalry storyline. And finally, the show ended with one final game reveal. The rumored open world survival Terminator game was teased from developer Nacon Studio Milan. It will be an original story set between the events of Judgment Day and the formation of John Connor's Resistance. And that is everything that we saw from Nacon, French publisher. Did anything, you probably didn't see any of this, I'm not sure, but does anything jump out to you there?
Yeah, Crown Wars is interesting to me. I'm not sure how you mash up medieval and World War One. It's an interesting concept, let's say, but RPGs are always hit or miss for me. So, we'll see, I guess, how that kind of comes out. Other than that, I thought the fact that it's the last WRC was interesting.
Yeah, that caught me off guard.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like these rally games are pretty niche.
Yeah.
After Peter Burns' rally game, that was like renowned for how good it is with the physics, or are at least because the graphics are like 20 years old. But you get the idea. There really wasn't a rally type kind of thing until Dirt, and then until WRC. So it's kind of sad to see it go, but I get why they're shifting towards the test drive route. Like if like test drive unlimited could theoretically rival kind of the playership of a Forza. And
Mhm.
that just makes more money than a rally game does. So
Right.
uh, I get it. Out of all the games on this list, that's probably one that I'll play at some point because I do love the rally games. And if it's the last one, it's kind of like, well, you kind of have to get it because when else are you going to be able to rally race? So you don't really have
Yeah.
much of a choice as far
Mhm.
as that goes. And the open world survival Terminator game does sound cool. I'm interested in that for sure. I mean, it's just why wouldn't that be fun? You know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
should be a fun game,
Yeah, that seems like an obvious game that we have never gotten. You know what I'm saying?
right?
Like an open world Terminator like game where you have to survive. Like that seems like a no brainer that we haven't gotten before, or at least to my knowledge. But yeah, there was some. Nacon's a really interesting publisher to me because there's a lot of these games that interest me and that caught my eye. So first of all, RoboCop, they showed gameplay for that. That looks awesome. I hope that continues to look awesome. And I am a fan of RoboCop. The movies are fucking great. Yeah, so I'm very excited about that. I hope that we'll hit that June date, and I hope that it continues to look very cool. The World War One survival horror game looked scary as hell. The
Yeah,
trailer
I'm not
for
doing
it,
that.
the trailer for it was like a soldier, and he was getting chased through a trench by like this like fire demon thing, and it was fucking wild. And I,
Perfect.
I just can't do it. There's no way. It looked wild though, but I can't do it. Blood Bowl 3, Blood Bowl is always a series that has intrigued me
Mhm,
because I don't know if you've ever seen any like videos or anything of it, but it's wild looking. And so I'm keeping my eye on that one potentially. That might be like something that I, get on a sale one day or something like that. I have no interest in Lord of the Rings Gollum. That looks like a silly ass game.
mhm, just like the movies.
Yeah. No, 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 no. The
You
movies, no,
agreed. You cut it there.
no,
Cut it
no,
there.
no, I'm sorry. The movies, my friend, are great. Now this game looks dumb. But anyway, so the game that stood out the most to me, I think out of all of these is Paradise Project, the cooperative zombie shooter game. It looks like a modern Dead Nation, and I am fucking here
Mhm.
for that. I am here for that. And I'll send you guys the trailer later. It looks
Sweet.
great. Looks great. So I think that's something that we could have fun with. Hopefully that's got to be at least 2 player, but maybe 4 player co-op. That'd be cool. Anyway, let's see here. What else? Hell is Us is we don't know much about that other than the
Mhm.
concept, and we have a trailer for it, and it looks like Death Stranding mixed with like World War II or some shit. Like it looks wild.
Yeah. It's
It
all
looks
over the
really cool.
place in a way.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's on my wish list as well on PlayStation. Keep my eye on that one. Let's see here. Ravens Watch. That game looks really cool. That is a 4-player cooperative game, and I liked Curse of the Dead Gods. I tried that. I think it's on PlayStation Plus or something at some point, and I thought that was a really cool game. I would rather play a game like that with friends. So
Mhm,
this seems kind of up my alley. It's got a cool art style.
mhm.
War Hospital, have my eye on that a little bit. It's a
Oh, yeah,
management,
I forgot about that.
yeah, it's a management game set during one of the World Wars. I'm not sure which
Mhm.
one.
Yeah, I've heard about that, that could be fun. I think I would actually I like those time periods and those wars, so I think it would kinda be interesting to kind of,
Yeah.
I know a little bit about how that stuff actually worked, so it'd be kinda fun to I wonder if it'll be just like in real life where they learn things as they went, so, like, you
Mm,
literally are developing theories and stuff like that.
interesting. Probably, I would say so. And then I do have my eye on Test Drive Unlimited. I'm still in the mood for an open world racing game, and The Crew 3 might be it, but this could also be it too. I hate that it got delayed, but I'm keeping my eye on that one. And then finally, again, yeah, the open world Terminator survival game sounds very cool in theory. So we'll see what they can come up with there. Number 5, 2K Sports officially revealed this year's iteration of their long running NBA series this week. NBA 2K23 will come in a number of editions, of course, each with their own cover athletes and perks. The standard edition will feature Phoenix Suns guard Devin Booker as the cover athlete, while 2 other versions will feature basketball legend Michael Jordan on the cover. The Jordan edition and the Championship edition. There will also be a WNBA edition that features WNBA legends Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird on the cover. One of the main draws for this year's game is the return of the fan favorite Jordan Challenge from NBA 2K11, widely held as one of the best, if not the best, NBA 2K game, which will include the 10 original challenges and 5 new ones. 2K also revealed that the Championship Edition, the most expensive version of the game, priced at $150, will include a 12-month subscription to NBA League Pass, the NBA's streaming subscription service where you can watch all the games. NBA 2K23 will release on September the 9th on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 with pre orders now available. What do you think?
Right. So interesting. Shout out to Drake who dropped another Devin Booker reference in one of his new songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said, "Heard you with a shooting guard. Just let a big word no. I would have you courtside, not in the middle row." That is so apparently Booker had a girl in the middle row.
That's funny.
Look, here's the thing about all the 2K games. It's like challenges from a game that came out 12 years ago is not going to get me excited to buy your game.
Mm,
That's cool, I guess. I don't really know what to think about that. I understand that, I understand that that game was great 12 years ago, but why would just having the same challenges make this one good, especially when the gameplay is going to be
sure.
different? Like I don't get it.
Sure.
Yes, and also like we have this $150 version where you get League Pass and you get the game. League Pass is $100,
Hmm.
and that's premium.
Right.
That's premium. You get NBA TV with that. So it's $100. I could buy the game for 70. I'm saving $20. Like I don't that's not really a value for me in buying a game. It's just not. But whatever, maybe I value money like a moron. So anyway, Jordan Edition, Championship Edition is cool. I like that they're doing that. um,
Uh,
I love that they're doing that. You took the international teams off of the game and some of the Olympic teams off of the game to give me the Chicago Sky. It's like, no, but listen, hopefully they got rid of this bullshit my town stuff that you could play
oh,
online and
no.
they actually make it good. That would be all I ask.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get suckered back into this, but I am interested in it because I do enjoy playing NBA 2K, but I do this every year. I mean, I play it and it's fine, but then it kind of wears out. I wear it out. Like I'll play it for 2 3 months and like I'm like, all right, I think I'm done. But the thing about it is that honestly, I'm more excited about it. I'm excited about it more because of what my team is doing. Well, because Utah is trading players and they like blowing up their team a little bit. So like
Mhm.
I'm excited about that, which then makes me want to play the game with Utah. Not necessarily excited about anything that 2K is doing or has shown with the game because they haven't shown anything. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
I'm not excited about it right now because of the game itself.
Hmm.
I'm more excited about it because of what I could do with the game with the team that I'm a
Yeah,
fan of.
yeah,
So
you're excited about the RPG element.
yeah, exactly. Which is always like we talk about. That's always like one of the things that we enjoy most about like sports games is like
Mhm.
the career modes and the dynasty modes and whatever. So anyway, I'm keeping my eye on it. We'll see about it. But the $150 edition, I mean, holy shit. I mean, I guess like you said, that is a deal to an extent, but it's not for me.
Yeah, do you think that when you load up the game, Brittany Griner will just say she's out for 6 to 12 years because she's indicted on a drug charge in Russia?
That'd be funny. Honestly, they might just take her off the game if she gets convicted of whatever. I mean, she did plead guilty, so she's gonna get convicted for something. I
Here's the
don't know.
thing. Imagine going to a country that fucking hates the country you're from and then taking something illegal there. Like they're not gonna throw the book at you.
You're asking for it.
Like they're at war and we are basically in a way posturing with them, and then you show up like, and then her excuse was it accidentally fell in my bag. I've never had anything accidentally fall in any bag I own ever.
Correct.
Like, have a
Hmm.
cool excuse, like, say something crazy, like a ghost put it there, or, like, the Russians planted it. Like, I would have a really cool story, I don't know, whatever.
Number 6. Rockstar Games, the fucking cowards that they are, Travis, released a blog post this week outlining the immediate future of both Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead Online. And without actually saying it, they confirmed that Red Dead Online is dead and will receive no further major updates, instead, receiving only drip feed updates and rotations, as development resources have been moved to Grand Theft Auto 6. GTA Online, meanwhile, will of course continue to be business as usual and receive updates for the foreseeable future. This lines up with other reports this week that claimed Rockstar has put all future remaster projects on hold to shift those assets to fully focus on GTA 6, which may have also been influenced by the very poor reception to last year's GTA the Trilogy remasters, which were dog shit. In the wake of the news, Red Dead Online fans are organizing a funeral for the online mode on July 13th. Players are encouraged to dress in your best funeral attire and tag pics on social media with hashtag Red Dead Funeral. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the 8th best selling video game of all time, with more than 44 million copies sold. May it rest in peace. Let me start here, all right? Because I had my little Twitter meltdown yesterday after it sunk in, and I just want to say I don't fucking get it. Like I just don't understand. Like they did this themselves, and it's just asinine for so many reasons. One of my biggest issues with it is that it's promises made and promises broken. Like they were talking in blog posts about how, oh, we've got these plans and this and that, and we're gonna have outlaw roles and this and that, and we're gonna have properties one of these days, and so on. So bullshit. It was all horseshit. And then they have the audacity to release a standalone version of Red Dead Online that people can pay money for, knowing that they're not going to support it. I mean, it's fucking bullshit. It's ridiculous. And it's just sad that we have a game, one of the top 10 best-selling video games ever made. Probably 45 million copies sold at this point. That's your base number. Even if half those people or a quarter of those people or 10% of those people are your dedicated online player base, so you have 4 million players that play online regularly right now, let's say, you still have a cash cow there. And if you would just give us what we have been asking for and things that you have intimated were coming to the game, we would pay money. I mean, you could get money out of us. But no, what happened was in the beginning they fucked the economy of Red Dead Online. They made it too easy to make money, and a lot of people, myself included, have more money than we'll ever need. I could go buy everything on Red Dead Online right now, probably, and still have money left. That's not my fault though. But with all that said, they could have recuperated that by just giving us the content that they wanted. They already adjusted the in-game economy. You can hardly, like, the way you make money now is not the same. Because before you could just stack daily challenges and it was stupid. But you could get that back if you just gave us what we asked for, if you just supported the game even a little bit like you did Grand Theft Auto Online. There were opportunities. There were opportunities there to be had and opportunities missed. And now we'll never know. The other thing about this is that we're most likely not going to get a current gen remaster or upgrade for this game on PS5, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There's only been 3 games since 2009 that have outsold Call of Duty in a year. And one is Grand Theft Auto 5, the other is Red Dead Redemption 2, and the third is going to be probably Elden Ring, which we're going to talk about in a moment. It's just silly. It's so asinine. And, fuck them for leading us on and for, and I'm a little butthurt too because it's my favorite game ever, but
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I'm over it. It kind of stings and it sucks. And yeah, anyway, what do you have to say?
Yeah, how did you handle a girl breaking up with you?
A lot better than this.
No, I agree with you a
It's
lot.
my quarterback.
It is. One of the weird things to me is it's the 8th best-selling game of all time, and you didn't support it post-launch. Like, if they would have supported it like Rainbow Six or like the game where you have all the planets, Planet,
Yeah, No Man's
yeah,
Sky.
that one. I was gonna call it Planet Sky. If they supported it in the same way that those developers supported those games, there's no telling what this game would be right now. It wouldn't be 8th best-selling. It would be top 3. But the thing that annoys me the most about it is, and this is like the only game that I might have enjoyed playing more than this game is Ghost of Tsushima. Like those are my 2 favorite games I've ever played, and you get to ride a horse in both of them. But anyway, the weird part is, like, they could have like, Rockstar literally could have had this game making as much money as GTA 5 online. Like, they're like, easily.
Mhm.
And it's similar stuff. They could have followed it. Like, remember they gave us bank heist? They could have gave us heists in this game. They gave us
Yeah.
apartments and penthouses. They could have gave us like saloons and stores and whatever on this game. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they have the talent to build it, and they clearly have some sort of network to use. Like, you think they have some sort of similar code, like, you know, hackers and other people have found all these ways to get into buildings that were blank. So clearly they were available for purchase or for rent or whatever. Like you said, like, I don't know if the economy thing scared them at first. Like, what sign did they get that made them basically quit on this? Like, I've never been able to figure that out. Like,
Yeah.
at what point did something hit them? They're like, we need to back out of this. And maybe it's just a stupid decision that a board of directors made, because boards make a lot of stupid decisions. That's a problem. When you get a lot of people in a room and a lot of people want to be a part of the decision making process, you can get a lot of dumbass decisions. Just looking at
Mhm.
any corporation. So, like, I don't know. That part of that makes me think that's the thing. And like you said, even if you have 10%, hell, if you had 5% of the player base of the
Yeah.
44 million, that's a fucking lot of money. Like, if all those people
Mhm.
bought a $20 DLC, you do the math. What's 5 million times that? Like, like
Yeah.
it's 100 million or whatever. Like, it's a huge missed opportunity. I don't understand why they didn't capitalize on it. We'll never get it, but I want to know why. What was the red flag?
Mhm.
I can't compute it. It's really annoying, but I love this Red Dead funeral thing. It makes me want to re-download the game just to do that, just to participate.
Yeah.
But that's what I've always liked about the community online with this game, is that they're just funny, like, in their
Yeah.
own way. And
Yeah.
I don't know, but part of me, when I read this, I was like, we probably should have seen this coming. That at some point they were going to pull everybody for GTA 6. Like, we that's
Yeah.
probably something that we all knew, but we're blind to in a way.
But the thing is, yeah, I definitely 100%, but they have over 1,000 employees.
That's a
They have
bad
over
point.
1,000 employees. I mean, they can't leave 30 people, 40, 50 people. I mean, not even that. They can't leave a small team to pump out some content. Few artists, few engineer, like what? I don't know, man. That just really annoys me. And you had 44 million players. You have millions for certain active players who play Red Dead Online. At least once a week, I would say. You have a base. You have a base that almost every other game ever made would kill to have. I mean, what a fucking luxury that you can have a game that sells 44 million copies, the eighth best selling game of all time. You can just say, "Oh, fuck it. We don't need to do anything for that anymore." Like, what a luxury to have. I mean, I guess
Right.
that's Rockstar problems. That's the only one of the only companies that could do that.
Right. I mean, yeah, it makes you wonder if like they hit their investor goals and they were just like, okay, we're done.
Maybe. I don't know. It stinks. But yeah, I'm going to try to hop on the 13th and do take a picture for the funeral. Man, I really hate all this. Hurts bad. Number 7, PlayStation hosted another indie spotlight on the PlayStation blog this week, hosted by head of PlayStation Studios, head of PlayStation Indies, I should say, himself, Mr. Shuhei Yoshida. The event highlighted 7 games coming to PlayStation, including the retro JRPG inspired Sea of Stars, which is coming to PS4 and PS5 in 2023, shadow hopping adventure game Skim, which is coming to PS4 and PS5, cult building roguelike game Cult of the Lamb, which is coming to PS4 and PS5 on August 11th, sci fi survival horror game Signalis, I'm not sure, which is coming to PS4 on October 27th. Former PS4 free to play cult hit The Tomorrow Children Phoenix Edition is coming back to PS4 as well as PS5 on September the 6th. 2D side scrolling golf roguelike game Cursed to Golf is coming to PS4 and PS5 on August 18th. And finally, critical hit card based roguelike survival horror game Inscription comes to PS4 and PS5 at some point in the future. So, some nice little slate of indie games. Does anything jump out at you here?
I have no idea what this golf game is. It doesn't even make sense to me. I don't understand it at all. Having my own cult, I'm into that.
Yeah, that looks like a cool game.
Can I make them all kill themselves? Can I make them all kill other people? That's really all I want to do with it. I want them to kill other people or kill themselves. I'm into that completely. I'm not going to be like the FLDS and traffic children for sex or anything stupid like that. We're
Yeah.
not going to be like Scientology and take any money. Nope, we're going to be Charles Manson. That's what I'm into this for. I hope it's awesome like that.
Yeah, that all checks out for you. Yeah, for sure. The Cult of the Lamb game looks neat. I've got my eye on that. I want to see what it gets reviewed. The Sea of Stars game looks kind of cool because it's JRPG inspired, but it's not a Japanese game. So that's interesting. It looks cool, kind of. And then Inscription, I know, has like an 85 on Metacritic, and a lot of people swear by that, but
Interesting.
I don't know if that's for me, really. And then the Tomorrow Children, I'm going to keep my eye on that as well. I remember playing that on PS4, and that's an interesting game. It has a really unique art style, I think. Like, at least, I don't know. I've never really seen anything that has that kind of art style. It's like minimalist, but like not claymation. Like, I don't know.
Um,
It's interesting. But
like 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 stop motion.
yeah, it's kind of like stop motion, like not in the movement, but like in the way people look. It
Hmm.
looks like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but like polished up, and then
Oh, like
like throw it
Horace
in
and
like
Gromit.
throw it in throw it in like a minimalist backdrop. It's kind of cool.
What a, is there a maximalist?
Yeah, it's probably what my basement is.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just when you it's just when you hoard
Just
everything up.
yeah. Your basement is like John Wayne Gacy's, but you didn't bury the bodies.
Exactly. So a nice little slate of indie titles coming out there to look forward to. You can look those up if you're interested. Number 8, Travis, Sony released the PlayStation Store's most downloaded games for the month of June this week. On PlayStation 5, the most downloaded title was The Quarry,
Hmm.
followed by Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, NBA 2K22, MLB The Show 22, Grand Theft Auto 5, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, Elden Ring, Among Us, Rainbow Six Siege, Sniper Elite 5, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Horizon Forbidden West, Far Cry 6, DNF Duel, Cyberpunk
Hmm.
2077, Gran Turismo 7, FIFA
Hmm.
22 or
Mm-mm.
222 as I have there,
Yeah, they
Mortal
got the
Kombat
license
11.
back 200 years from now.
That's good. Mortal Kombat 11 and It Takes Two at number 20 on PS5. And then over on PS4, the most downloaded game was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. And it's only a PS4 game. It's not natively on PS5. So just to give you an idea, that game did very well. It was followed at number 2 on PS4 by Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead Redemption 2. Don't worry about it though, guys. Don't fucking support it. NBA 2K22, The Quarry, Star Wars Battlefront 2, MLB The Show 22, Gang Beast, FIFA 22, so many twos, Assassin's Creed Origins, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Among Us, The Sims 4, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Batman Arkham Knight, Need for Speed Heat, Dead by Daylight, The Forest, of course, and Dark Souls 3 at 20 on PS4. The PSVR list is pretty much the same as it always is, as nothing comes out there anymore. But over on free to play, The most downloaded free to play game was Fall Guys, which we're going to talk about here in a moment as well. It overtook Fortnite, and Roller Champions is hanging around there at number 3, followed by Apex Legends at 4 and Call of Duty Warzone at 5. So, any thoughts here on the list?
The free to play, the Fall Guys doesn't surprise me since it went free to play. I'm sure it had a huge spike in those numbers, and a lot of those were probably just re-downloads from people who had already bought it.
Right.
Roller Champions being up there is awesome. I'm glad to see that's still up there. I just like seeing new things on that list that keep kind of
Yeah.
cracking. As far as the 4 and the 5 go, I think if Shredder's Revenge was on the 5, it would probably be number 1 or 2. That's probably an easy roll of the
Hmm.
dice. I'm not surprising anybody there. Other than that, Arkham Knight being on the 4 is interesting, and that could be people, who have bought the new premium service on the 4 and downloaded that game. I downloaded it on my 5, so that's
Oh,
easy to
nice.
see. I could see where that would kind of fall in. What else is there here? Okay, and on the 5, the Quarry being number 1 is really interesting to me. I think
That's
that's
wild.
it surprised me. I didn't expect that, but
Yeah.
that's cool. I like that. It's kind of like when Elden Ring popped up really high. Like I don't think any of us saw that. Now I'm not saying the Quarry will jump like Elden Ring did, but it seems like the Quarry type, Elden Ring type games seem to be gaining some traction in the ether of gaming, which is kind of cool. Another thing that I thought was interesting about the PS5 is you see no Call of Duties on there.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That is a good point.
So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Of
Huh.
course, GTA 5 is always there. Far Cry 6 surprised me. I don't know why, but I just don't expect to see that on the list. I just never do,
Sure.
and it's always somewhere on there. And DNF Duel also surprised me. I know we talked about the game last week or week before. I
Hmm.
guess it had to have been
Yeah. It
last
just came
month,
out.
but yeah, it's already up there in the top 20. So that's good for them. Good for those guys.
Yeah. The Quarry at number 1 on PS5 really stuns me, quite honestly. I mean, I expected it to be high because it's something new in the middle of kind of a drought for big releases. So I guess there is that. Star Wars Fallen Order being up there at number 2, I guess
Mhm,
that got a spike because they announced the new game called
mhm.
Survivor or whatever recently. So maybe that got a big spike from that. And then, yeah, that's a good catch on no Call of Duty games there on PS5 on the list at all.
Maybe you accidentally spelled it as Among Us.
maybe, maybe. And then, yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge was huge, had a huge month, and by all accounts, surely did very well. A lot of people were excited about that game. Then the Forest hanging around there at 19, of course, as always. And then I really think on free to play, like that is going to be a very interesting battleground moving forward, especially once PlayStation starts releasing some of their live service games, because
Oh
in
yeah.
inevitably some of those will be free to play as well. And once those start getting on there, that's going to be very interesting to see if they can compete with some of these heavy hitters. Because I would say, I mean, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Warzone, like those are the main ones. And so the fact that Roller Champions is still hanging in there, and then Fall Guys is just a smash hit. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Number 9, we also have a bunch of news nuggets as well. Travis, feel free to join me here wherever you see fit. First nugget, developer MiHoYo will release Genshin Impact Update 2.8 called Summer Fantasia on July 13th. And it's a
Mm.
big update that includes new stories, challenges, and rewards.
Called Seaman Fantasy.
Website Video Games Chronicle reported that some of July's PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tier games have leaked. Reset Era leaker Black Bait claims that the following games will be added to the service on July 19th alongside the previously announced Stray, the cat game. He says that Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Unity, Rogue Remastered, Freedom Cry, and the Ezio Collection will all join the service alongside Saints Row 4 Re-elected. And he did add, however, that this is likely not the entire list of new additions. He believes it's only be a partial list of additions that are coming. Elsewhere, and to prove this point, a PlayStation Store listing for a PS4 and PS5 version of PlayStation portable game Loco Roco Midnight Carnival was discovered, indicating that it will likely be coming to the service soon as well. So some early leaks there, some games, and those are some good additions there, and some of the Assassin's Creed games and Final Fantasy VII Remake's a big one as well. So not bad. Next nugget, the open beta for Modern Warfare 2 will not launch until mid September, with PlayStation players receiving early access. Map images for the game also leaked recently thanks to Call of Duty Warzone Mobile, of course. And
Yeah,
also, if the beta is in mid September, then that's a demo because they can't change anything before the game launches if it doesn't start until mid September. So
that's
I'm
a
just
fair
saying,
point. I just want to do the thing.
you want to
The
do
what?
the thing,
Yeah, the yeah.
you want to take the trips.
I just want to play. I just want to do the thing where we shoot at each other. God damn it! where we we play
The
doubles.
gunfight alpha.
Doubles.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
yeah.
Motherfucker. Anyway.
We take the trips.
Anyway, I'm dying.
The gunfight alpha will most likely be in August, so we don't have to wait too much longer for that. So alpha into August, beta in September. Sorry, demo in September. Anyway, likewise, Travis, concept art for 2024's Call of Duty entry,
Oh
a
God, just
Black Ops game, it appears to have been leaked via the Warzone mobile
Mhm.
app test as well. So, are you ready for 2024's Black Ops game?
you can't get away from it. Like, can we just not
Yeah.
enjoy what we're getting this year, and then you can annoy me with it in like February?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It's like, why is this news? Like, it's like some guy was like, I got to break the fucking news about these whatever these artist conceptions of a game. It's like, no, it's not that serious. I don't know. Whatever.
Also, Guerrilla Games released a new update for Horizon Forbidden West this week that has added variable refresh rate support and a balanced graphics mode that supports 40 frames per second on PS5. An official Xbox live stream accidentally revealed She-Hulk is coming to Marvel's Avengers game, perhaps
Mm.
as the next playable character. Oops. Also,
Oh wow.
Avengers is just going to get into this cycle of just reskinning characters that they already have in the game. They already have Thor, so we have She-Thor now, or whatever it's called, Jane Foster,
Mm-hmm.
Australian Fabia, and then we
Traitor
have
bitch.
Trader Bitch too. And then we're gonna have She-Hulk. We already have
Oh.
Hulk, so this is the
Mm.
road that they're going down. Then what are
Yeah.
we gonna? Is there a female Spider-Man? I'm sure there is.
She Spider Woman. Yeah.
Spider-Woman, perfect.
And then after we get through all
Anyway,
of the women, we'll have he She Hulk.
that's a good.
We'll have they them Hulk.
Oh man. Uh, Also, Ubisoft is shutting down the servers for 15 older games, including access to DLC in some cases. The games include multiple Assassin's Creed titles, Far Cry 3, Splinter Cell Blacklist, Driver San Francisco, and Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands. Forgotten indeed.
Good. I can't believe that fucking driver still had a server up.
Right? Right. Also, critically acclaimed walking simulator, What Remains of Edith Finch, has been rated for PS5 by the Taiwanese ratings board, which means a current gen release is imminent. Okay. A remake of cult hit action game Lollipop Chainsaw, which we talked about last week, has been confirmed by Yoshima Yasuda, the former CEO of Katakawa Games. His new company, Dragami Games, has acquired the rights to Lollipop Chainsaw and is working with Warner Brothers to distribute the game outside of Asia. It is planned to launch in 2023. The writer behind the modern Deus Ex games, Mary DeMarle, will direct the narrative for the next Mass Effect game from developer BioWare. A website called The Game Post claims to have discovered that PlayStation Studio Bungie is co developing an first person shooter mobile game with Chinese company NetEase Games after the LinkedIn profile of a NetEase artist lists, quote, an unannounced FPS mobile game, end quote, developed in cooperation with the Destiny developer.
Mm.
Okay, fart noise. Also, NFT sales have plummeted to a 12-month low in June of $1 billion in total, down from $12.6 billion from January of this year. Imagine that.
Hey, there's an NFT. I saw an ad for NFT Hot Wheels today.
Get the fuck out of
Whatever that
here.
means.
Also, a new Sony patent suggests that the company is working on PS3 era peripheral compatibility for
Mm.
the PlayStation 5, and this may be a part of ongoing efforts to find a solution to bring PS3 titles natively to current hardware rather than via streaming only. Also, Electronic Arts' new Seattle based studio is hiring for the next Battlefield single player campaign, with development being led by Halo co founder Marcus Leto.
Oh, good. We can fly and bounce around.
Yes. The Matrix Awakens Unreal Engine 5 tech demo was delisted from digital storefronts this week, so I went ahead and downloaded it to keep it on my PS5 to inevitably sell it for like $10,000 one day because you can't download this anymore. Microsoft's Activision Blizzard acquisition is now being investigated by the British Competition and Markets Authority to determine if the deal would lead to worse outcomes for consumers. ReedPop, the event company behind PAX, EGX, and New York Comic Con, will officially take over running E3 in 2023 in a bid to save the event on behalf of the Entertainment Software Association. I don't think anything can save it, but whatever. PlayStation announced plans to remove previously purchased Studio Canal video content from users' video libraries as of August 31st. So just FYI. Yu-Gi-Oh! Creator Kazuki Takahashi passed away this week at the age of 60 in what appears to be a snorkeling accident. I knew you were going to have something to say.
I don't have anything to say. It's just a way for him to go out.
Yeah.
You
One
go
hell of a
out.
way. Also, a new PS5 firmware update dropped this week, and along with it came the addition of auto low latency mode, which will switch compatible TVs automatically to low latency or gaming mode when playing games on PS5. MPD Group's Matt Piscatella predicted that Elden Ring will beat out Call of Duty as 2022's best-selling title, which would be only the third time since 2009 that has happened. As I mentioned earlier, Elden Ring has already shipped 13.4 million units worldwide as of March 31st.
Crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that next year Call of Duty will outsell every game, but this is pretty awesome.
A number of gameplay videos from Skate 4 pre-alpha footage have leaked online if you're interested. And Returnal Steam PC database entry has been updated yet again on the back end, perhaps hinting that a release is not far off at all. Website GamesIndustry.biz reported that GameStop has issued widespread layoffs across the company, including its CFO, who had only been in the job for less than a year, and its press outlet Game Informer.
Yeah.
So, great company.
Yeah, I guess my question there is they got all this influx of money from Reddit basically juicing the stock last year. It's like, did they not save the money? Did they get together and be like, we're going to have this every year? Like, what did they?
Right.
They made so much money. They should have been able to just be like, this is who we are. We just got this free money. Let's just exist and try to maximize our market. And we can use this money as like just to keep us afloat while we try to figure this out, as opposed to what they did, which you knew that wouldn't work. Like, you knew that it wouldn't stay. Like, are they that fucking stupid? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, they're not long for this world, which ironically and in an interesting way is going to boost local like mom and pop stores, which is cool in a way because GameStop won't be there. But like, it's so wild to me that they're just about to be toast. Also, Fall Guys has now reached a staggering 50 million players just 2 weeks after its move to free to play. That's incredible.
It really is.
No wonder it's number one.
Do you think Rockstar would support that?
Oh no, that's only 6 more million than they had. They would say, "Fuck it, we piss on 50 million players." Also, website Push Square reported that a PS5 version of action RPG Biomutant is coming on September the 6th. It will be free for current owners of the game and feature faster loading times and 3 graphical modes: Quality Mode, Quality Unleashed, which is dynamic 4K at between 50 and 60 FPS, and a Performance Mode for 1440p at a locked 60 frames per second. 16-bit Metroidvania game Chronicles of Two Heroes, Amaterasu's Wrath will launch on PS4 and PS5 later this year. Developer IO Interactive announced a free new map for Hitman 3 releasing on July 26th called Ambrose Island. Ubisoft confirmed that they are working on a fix for issues with Assassin's Creed Syndicate running on PS5. It's low-key maybe the most underrated Assassin's Creed game. A team deathmatch mode is being added to free-to-play battle royale title, Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt on July 14th. The Quarry's multiplayer mode dropped in a new update for the game this week. It's called Wolfpack and allows players to invite up to 7 friends to watch them play the game and vote on key decisions, with the majority vote determining the outcome.
Yeah, and I read
that's pretty cool.
That is cool. Some people I know that were complaining because they're like, "Well, you're not actually playing; you're just watching."
Well, that's basically what it is.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Right. Also, PUBG is getting a new map in its next major update on July 21st. And Codemasters Grid Legends has added a photo mode on both PS4 and PS5 this week. Pixel art Zoo Tycoon game, Travis, Let's Build a Zoo, is coming to both PS4 and PS5 in September, following a successful launch on PC last year. It looks very cool. It's very much in the vein of Roller Coaster Tycoon, but imagine a zoo. Website PlayStation Lifestyle reported that Hideo Kojima was mistakenly identified as former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's assassin after he was shot and killed at a political event this week. Not making this up. The mistake seems to stem from French politician Damien Roux, who began sharing photos of Kojima, labeling him as a quote unquote far left killer. One such photo was of Kojima posing with a portrait of former Marxist Cuban revolutionary, I don't know how to say this guy's name, Che Guevara. Che Guevara. The photo, of course, you would know that. The photos have spread across the world from Arab news outlets to Greek outlets and beyond in a scary case of the power of both social media and misinformation. So this is all over the world, and there's like pictures of him in like a fucking Joker t-shirt, and then with the Che Guevara or Che Guevara, whatever. It's outrageous.
I watched the video of the guy getting shot. The most interesting thing was the bodyguards tried to hold up a briefcase to stop the bullet, which made me wonder if the briefcase was somehow bulletproof, which is an interesting thing. But anyway, yeah, what a mistake. I mean, I know all Asians look alike. Is that what the guy said?
I guess so.
Assume?
That's what this French asshole was trying to say.
That's what I heard when I read that. Was he's like, they all look the same.
Right. Next nugget. PlayStation Studios is hiring a classics engineer to develop new emulators, among other tasks. This according to a new job listing at the company, adding to the hope that one day we might get PS3 games natively on PS4 and PS5 instead of streaming. SIE also patented a PS5 gameplay replay system that presents players with what-if scenarios to see how different actions could have changed the outcome of certain in-game actions. The single cable on the upcoming PlayStation VR 2 can be detached and replaced, according to VR YouTuber PSVR Without Parole. So inevitably, when somebody walks in on you and steps on it and rips it out, you can replace it.
Oh, lovely.
Also, website PlayStation Universe reported that the following games received update patches this week: Horizon Forbidden West and Gran Turismo 7. They either really melded in this week, because there's no way those are the only two games that got updated. So anyway, I think they just took a week off. Sony has filed a patent for an MMO processing system, with the patent application detailing a system that would take advantage of different networks, compute units, and the cloud to support live service titles. That's very interesting. They're going to make a little MMO network. Ubisoft said during a Q&A at its recent annual meeting that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still being actively developed, despite rumors that it has been canceled. In fact, insider Tom Henderson reported this week that external playtesting for the game is set to get underway soon, maybe as soon as this month. A rating for a game called New Tales from the Borderlands and a deluxe edition of said game have appeared in Korea, so it's coming soon. Website Gematsu reported that action RPG RWBY Ruby, I guess, I don't know, Arrowfell, well, we've talked about it on the show before, will release this fall on both PS4 and PS5. Publisher Bandai Namco will release free-to-play 24-player battle royale game at My Hero Ultra Rumble on PS4 at some point in the future. Signups for a closed beta test on PS4 are available now on the game's website. Square Enix will release strategy RPG The Dialfield Chronicle on PS4 and PS5 on September the 22nd, with a demo becoming available on August the 10th. Square Enix will also launch action RPG Valkyrie Elysium for PS4 and PS5 a week later on September the 29th. I just thought about something. A digital deluxe edition of the game will include a PS4 port of PSP game Valkyrie Profile Lenneth. It will also be available as an a la carte purchase on the PlayStation Store. So if you think about that, going back a little bit, so Square Enix would have had 3 games basically releasing back to back to back to back. They would have had Dialfield 22nd of September, Valkyrie Elysium September 29th, and then Forspoken October the 11th. So maybe that had something to do with it as well. I don't know. Anyway, next nugget. Publisher Axis Games announced a social thriller reality TV show style game Inescapable for PS4 and PS5. Visual novel A Light in the Dark will release on PS4 this fall. Horror adventure game Shinigami Shibiti Magaire is coming west. It's coming west, Travis, sometime in 2023. And it'll be called Spirit Hunter Death Mark 2 on PS4.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, thank God they got that cleaned up. Also, visual novel with Witch on the Holy Night will release on PS4 on December 8th. Sci-fi adventure game Anonymous Code was officially announced to release on PS4 on July 28th. Fighting game sequel Cobra Kai 2 Dojo's Rising will launch this fall on PS4 and PS5.
The word dojo is just funny to me.
It is. It's close to dodos. First-person action game at Bright Memory Infinite will launch on PS5 on July 21st. Old school platformer Froggen will launch on PS4 and PS5 on August 2nd. Psychonauts 2 will get a physical release, called the Motherlobe Edition on September the 7th on PS4, and it'll cost $70 for a base PS4 game. That's Xbox. That's that Xbox tax. That's an Xbox owned studio now. Also, publisher Bandai Namco and developer Supermassive Games announced the next entry in the Dark Pictures anthology called The Devil in Me. Well, it will launch on PS4 and PS5 this fall, probably October. Side-scrolling action roguelite platformer Blade Assault will launch on PS4 and PS5 on September the 30th. Action adventure beat 'em up game Asterix and Obelix Triple XL, The Ram from Hibernia, will launch sometime this fall on PS4 and PS5. And finally, Travis, Gamatsu reported that publisher Nexon revealed their free-to-play cooperative third-person shooter action RPG codenamed Project Magnum is now called The First Descendant, and signups for a PC-only beta test are now open. The game is scheduled to come to PS4 and PS5 at some point in the future. And that is all for the news this week, and it was a metric shit ton. And I'll now turn it over to Travis for this week's new games.
On July 4th, the birth date of our wonderful nation, we had Instant Sports All-Stars. That's where you mix tiny All-Stars with water and put them in the microwave.
Also, I thought that came out last week. I'm pretty sure it was on the list last week. But
continue. Speaking of coming out, we have Rainbow Advance. On the 5th, we have the actual Arcade-Ageddon release.
Wow.
We also have Dungeons of Sundaria, Yuri Kill, the Calumnation games, Calumnation, Calumnation. It's a fucking game that came out.
Hooked on Bonics.
On July 6th, we have Cursed Island, Lizard Lady versus the Cats. That is perfect.
They missed an opportunity to be Lizard Lady versus the Cat Lady. I mean, that's a golden opportunity that they missed.
Hold on, I'm going to Google this really fast. Lizard Lady. Okay, I looked it up. It looks fucking terrible.
Thanks for confirming.
It looks like a fucking nightmare. Like a nightmare inside of a screensaver from the mid to late 90s. If you look it up, you'll know exactly what I mean. We also have Quintus and the Absent Truth, The Bear Bee. On July the 7th, we have Arcade Archives, Rabio Lepus, Matchpoint Tennis Championships, Overrogue, The Galactic Junkers, United Assault Normandy 44, Zero Tolerance Collection. On the 8th, we have Adventures
Far Right game.
We have Adventures of Chris. Which was Far Right, Zero Tolerance or Chris?
Zero Tolerance.
We also have Canada Break, Cosplay Love Enchanted Princess. That sounds like a red flag of a woman if I've ever heard of one. We also have Crypt of the Serpent King Remastered in 4K edition, Eternal Hope, Clonoa, Fantasy Reveri series. Just don't fucking worry about that one.
No, we almost got there.
We also have Madison in all caps, and finally Road of Death.
God, what a game to end on. Hopefully, I'm going to show my wife the Crypt of my Serpent King later on.
Oh, really? Well, I have eternal hope that you don't.
Let's see what we got here. Arcade-Ageddon, by far our biggest game this week. It's a PS Plus game. No excuse not to play it, and saying it over and over. The rest of this stuff is trash, I think. I mean, games, whatever. All right, so that's all for the new games this week. Travis, let's begin to wrap the show up here as we always do by discussing what we have been playing and anything that we're looking forward to. What do you got?
Yeah, we played some Battlefield with John. That was a good time. We seem to find ourselves at E1 and 2 a lot. I don't know if we're just like the keepers of E1 and 2, but that is where we end up.
I love that.
But yeah, we had some fun in the couple of vehicles. I got a couple of kills with the minigun on the plane, which is a lot of fun. Yeah, we had a blast. That 50 cal, I haven't unlocked it yet, but I'm telling you, when I unlock the 50 cal, it's going to be a problem. Like, it's going to be a problem. I picked it up once. I ran out of ammo one time and just picked up a gun. It happened to be the 50 cal, and I killed like 8 people in a row. So I'm telling you, when I get it unlocked, it's going to be a problem.
It is good.
The game is actually, if the game would have released in the state they would have so many players right now. So that's sad for them, but whatever. We'll take it or leave it. What else did I play this week? Let's see here. What did I play? We played F1 before my TV fell off the wall. And first of all, the server just shit the bed. We were about to give up. Finally got it to work. And then we didn't get the settings right. It was just a disaster.
It was a real disaster.
The game plays different than it did last year. You can just kind of tell by how the car, obviously, the car handling's different, but it's different in a lot of ways and a lot of nuanced ways. And the difficulty spike is definitely different than last year. Like, I think I put the difficulty on like 75, which isn't. I think last year when we were kind of playing around with it, we were like in the mid 60s and we were finishing on the podium. So like 10 more shouldn't make us be last. We should put us midfield with our shitty car, like obviously. And it was awful. We were like not even close to being on pace. We couldn't even do our whatever our practice programs. We couldn't even like register in the green. It was impossible. All of it sucked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was just ridiculous. I don't understand. And the car was driving like a boat. It didn't turn. It was super super stiff, super tight. It wouldn't turn, which is weird because when I went to my custom setting, I pretty much did everything you would do to make a car loose, which makes it kind of turn wherever and go wherever. If you don't know what loose means, just watch Days of Thunder. They'll explain it. But like none of that made the car handle any different. So I did it the exact opposite, and it didn't make it any worse to drive either. It didn't make it any tighter, which it should. So like that's not a good sign. They've had some updates since then. We haven't played since the TV fell off the wall. So hopefully those updates will fix some of those issues. I know they talked about balancing some stuff out, so hopefully that is a fix. They also fixed the glitch where like the podium people would just be shadow men.
That's hilarious.
There's some pretty cool videos of it. Like the first time I saw it, I thought I legitimately thought the guy was like in year 12 of my career, and all the drivers were black people that were regens. That's what I thought happened. And then the guy's like, it just blacked them out. And then, which was funny to me because sometimes on FIFA, the trophies will black out. And it's like
Mm.
EA just has like a blackout glitch. So I wonder what it'll be for Madden. But I resent out the invite. I did some research online, and I think I put the difficulty back to where it should make us competitive in the area we're supposed to be competitive in, which was the goal. Like we're Aston Martin, we should be competitive in the bottom like 6 spots.
Right.
Like 14 to 20 is where we should be competitive. And if there's
Right.
rain or there's a couple of accidents, we should be able to challenge for some points here and there until we get our upgrades up. And that's the goal. So we'll try it again and see. There's a hell of a week trying to get that game to work. Like everything
What a
about it did not want us to play the game.
no. It was cursed. It was a disaster. And yeah, so we had grand ambitions to do a YouTube series, which we'll still do, but it's been delayed because of all this horse shit. And yeah, is that all you played this week?
I think so. I want to say I played something else, but I don't remember. I played Share Factory and made a video. Does that count?
No, not exactly. But yeah, F1, as you said, a mess. Battlefield 2042, we played a lot of that this week, and yeah, it's good, man. It's good, and the player counts are back on the rise. To your point, I saw some stats on from Steam earlier today or earlier this week, and player counts are trending upwards, which is a good sign. I think they're on the right track if they can stick to it. Also played a little bit of My Friend is Pedro, which is that like bullet time twin stick shooter platformer side scroller thing. And I got to a point where I kept dying and I didn't know what to do, so I just deleted it. I don't have time for that shit.
I've
And
been there. That's what I did with
whatever.
that's what I did with the Parthenon, or what was that game where you were like the Greek
Oh
2D thing?
yeah, Pantheon.
Yeah, I got stuck and I was like,
Yeah,
fuck it.
that was a cool game. I didn't finish it either, but a really cool concept. And then I played some Empire of Sin, which is a real time. Well, it's a turn based strategy golden age mob game, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it. It just seems like a lot, and I'm not really in the mood for that right now. I also finished South Park: The Stick of Truth, and that was a wonderful game. I really enjoyed that. That's a very good game and hilarious, funny game. Totally batshit crazy, over the top,
Really?
in the most South Park way possible.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
So just yeah, just absolutely batshit. I got a little annoyed at the end with the last boss fight because it just like was never ending. But I think that was intentional. I think that was on the nose because they start like taking some jabs at video games. So I think they were like actually making a jab at video game design with that, is my theory. But other than that, I really enjoyed it, and I downloaded the sequel, which I'm going to get to at some point after I play a couple of the other games that are on my list. I played some more Arcadegeddon this week. Played it after launch, and they have changed it for a full launch and added a bunch of stuff, and it's pretty cool. It's, I mean, more than pretty cool. It's very good, but the changes that they made have made it pretty cool. They've added, gauntlet abilities and a bunch of weapons and a bunch of new biomes. So I played some of that. I put some footage up on YouTube actually, and yeah, I love that game. The other thing about that is, Travis, is that since it technically has launched in 2022, it very well could be on my list of top 5 games at the end of the year, potentially. So for the second year in a row. So thank you for that, Ilphonic. And then finally, I played a little bit of Fortnite, and I'm embarrassed to say I played a little Fortnite. I don't know what got into me. I'm just curious. And since it's been on Unreal Engine 5 and, the PS5 version, all that, I just wanted to check it out. So I downloaded it just so I can be, a man of culture to understand what's out there these days. And I got to say, I played for about an hour and I enjoyed it. It was fun. Part of that, I think, is due to the fact that I was dicking on people. I came in second the first 2 matches that I played both times. I was just destroying motherfuckers. And then the third, I played 3 games. The third one, I came in 8th. It was cool, but here's my problem. Like, the bones of the game are cool, like the mechanics, shooting, etc. That stuff's all good. The problem is that it's a fucking mess of a game. Like, what is the game? It's like we're having concerts over here and we're riding fucking go-karts over here. It's like the same problem that I have with the city thing that you mentioned at NBA. What is this game? Like, are we having Travis Scott concert, or are we fucking doing whatever? Are we dancing? Like, people were, I guess you can buy like you can buy emotes in the game, but they play music. So like I walked by somebody and they're like doing some type of dance, and DaBaby just was like coming out of their character, like music, like like a DaBaby song was just coming out of their character. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And like
That's
that was
amazing.
everybody. Like everybody had a different song. So apparently somehow you can buy music to attach to emotes that you do. So I don't know. I mean, it was kind of neat, I guess, but like at the same time, it just seems like a fucking fever dream of a game when you play it. It's just like overstimulating and like all this shit. And it's like, I don't know. I've never felt more old playing a video game. But with that said, I did enjoy it. So I understand that too. I understand that part of it too. But anyway, so yeah, I feel dirty. I feel unclean having played that game, but I had to do a little oppo research, and I have to understand things. Sometimes that's good to branch out. Anyway, that's all that I played this week. That's all that we played. If you guys enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe so that we'll get delivered to you every Monday on your podcast service. Also, if you can subscribe on YouTube, we'll be there as well for you on Mondays. Also, if you can leave us a rating or review, whether that's stars or hearts or thumbs up or a like, that would be a big help. And comments help as well on YouTube, as well as written reviews on your podcast service to help us fight the nasty algorithms. Also, don't forget to find us on social media at the DualSense Pod on Twitter, but we're also on Instagram and Facebook as well. We also have a blog, which is the DualSensePodcast.wordpress.com. Thank you for listening as always. You guys take care. Have a great week, and we'll talk at you next time. Bye bye.